We live in an age where humanity has never been closer, and yet has never been more divided by belief. We speak different languages about God. Some speak with prayer, some with silence, some with denial, some with poetry, some with equations, and we have mistaken these different languages for different truths. But before belief had language, before God had a name, before faith had institutions, there was something far more ancient than religion. There was awareness, there was conscious, there was the human recognition that life matters. This is where faith truly begins, not in agreement about God, but in the shared experience of being human. Yes, so religion belongs to history, faith belongs to existence. Anthropology, philosophy, and psychology all point to the same conclusion. Human beings did not first search for doctrine, they searched for meaning, right? So they asked why suffering feels wrong, why love feels necessary, why injustice disturbs the soul, why truth demands loyalty even when it costs us. These questions appear in every civilization, in every culture, with or without religion. This is why belief does not disappear when religion does. The atheist who rejects a personal God still believes in reason, dignity, or moral responsibility, right? The deist who denies revelation still senses an underlying order, coherence, or intelligence. The mystic who abandons words still encounters unity. The scientist who doubts metaphysics still trusts that the universe is intelligible. These are not contradictions, they are different expressions of the same human orientation toward meaning. So, faith then is not about certainty, it's about relationship. Our relationship to truth, to life, to responsibility. Across traditions, the idea of God changes, yet the ethical center remains strikingly consistent, just as in the Hebrew tradition. Law and transformation in the teachings attributed to Jesus, intention and moral accountability in Islamic thought, unity behind multiplicity in Hindu philosophy, awareness without attachment in Buddhism, reason and natural law in philosophy, silence and absence in atheism, different languages, different symbols, but a shared moral gravity. This should trouble us because it suggests that morality was not invented by religion. Religion recognized something already present. The true question then is not which belief system is correct. The deeper question is what kind of understanding of the divine produces compassion rather than fear. Any concept of God that justifies cruelty has misunderstood the divine. Any belief that requires the suspension of conscience has betrayed its own origin, actually. So, if God exists by any name or by none, that reality would not compete with truth, would not fear doubt, and would not demand blindness. Truth does not need protection from questions, only fragile ideas do. Perhaps this is why the most profound spiritual insight is not a revelation, but reflection. What if God has always been mirrored rather than declared, not spoken from the sky, but recognized through conscious, not enforced through fear, but discovered through responsibility? So, across civilizations, actually, one insight returns again and again: do not harm without necessity, care for the vulnerable, restrain power, honor truth, even when unseen. These are not religious commands, they are human recognitions. Religion preserved them, power often distorted them, fear weaponized them. So, but conscience kept them alive. This is why moral courage appears in believers and non believers alike. This is why goodness exists outside doctrine. This is why humanity survives despite ideology. The greatest mistake of religion was not faith, it was exclusivity. The belief that truth could belong to one group, one book, one tradition, one identity, but truth does not belong to us. We belong to truth, right? So, actually, a faith that belongs only to some will always threaten the rest. A God who chooses sides will always justify violence. But a faith that belongs to all does not require conversion. It does it does not ask people to abandon their tradition. It asks them to remember its deepest intention. Unity does not require sameness. It requires humility. A Jew does not need to stop being Jewish. A Christian does not need to stop being Christian. A Muslim does not need to stop being Muslim. A Hindu does not need to stop being Hindu. An atheist does not need to start believing. What must stop is fear. Fear of questioning, fear of the other, fear of being human. We often ask, where is God? Perhaps the better question is, where did we stop looking? Right? Actually, if God is only found in certainty, then that becomes a sin. If God is only found in belief, then honesty becomes dangerous. So, if the divine is found, wherever truth is honored, wherever conscience is respected, wherever compassion overrides fear, then God has never been absent, actually only misunderstood. So the future of humanity does not depend on religious victory. It depends on moral maturity, not on louder beliefs, but on deeper responsibility, not on defending God, but on defending humanity. Because whatever name we give to the ultimate reality, if if it's worthy of us, it will never ask us to abandon our conscience. Whatever faith truly belongs to all will always make us more human, never less. Thanks for listening.